What's up? Welcome back to Wytchwood. We have a lot of things to make and get. So, let's go through this list. Let's do this one first, the Apothecary Humors. I can make it because I have all the things. Good. Alright, next is a Necromantic Charm. I need pumpkin jackbone from the fields, and I have everything else. Okay, good. And then what else? What else do I need? Oh, Drake Ring. Dang. I'm going to assume I either need to talk to the thing or it'll tell me how to take it out later. So, let's go get that pumpkin jack thing because I have the snare thing that I can use to get it. Alright, yeah. Find the pumpkins. Pumpkins! Sir, look out. Get him! Chop him! Got it. That's all I need, right? Just one? Yep, just the one. Alright, so now I need the death certificate from the leech. And what else? Oh, and the fang, right, okay. So, back to the swamps. Hi, can I have your, okay. I need a sacrifice. Not a full-grown dragon, but just as mean. Okay. A sacrifice. Sacrifice! Run. Sacrifice! No. I'll take your tooth, please, thank you. Hi. The shadowy doctor prowls amongst the cots, eyeing the weakest patients with dark hunger. She snaps a quivering tentacle at you as you approach. Not a step closer. Who knows what sort of disgusting maladies you might have been carrying? Yes, I'm a pox-ridden wretch. I know, but I need a death certificate from you. Specifically of the short-bearded man we spoke about. His wife is in no condition to roll her chair through the swamp, so she asked me to collect it for her. I don't simply give out death certificates to anyone claiming to be someone's aunt, grandmother, or friend. This is a legitimate operation. She turns her back to you and rummages through a nearby medicinal closet. Now where is that serum got to? Don't tell me you're already out. What's the matter? Out of stock? It's a shame you don't have the time to go out yourself. She tenses at your continued presence. What are you getting at? Medicine for the death certificate? I think that's fair trade, don't you? You would barter when people's lives are on the line. Fine. You'll have your paperwork, you filthy degenerate. Clearly too angry to speak with you, she shoves a list of required medicinal supplies into your hands. I just need a bunch of medical pulses. I can't speak anymore. 3, was it? Make it extra for me. I have all the stuff you need. There you go. The leech stuffs the poultice into an unsanitary-looking cabinet without a second glance. The leech takes the wings with a surprisingly delicate touch and lays them out carefully along the surface of the clear shelf. The leech inspects the barbs before placing each of them carefully into a velvet-lined container alongside other excruciating-looking instruments. For your errands, now I really must insist on that death certificate. No need to get prickly. I have your papers right here. The leech extends her moist arm and thrusts a poorly written note into your hands. You shake the mucus from the paper and try to decipher the loopy, illegible scribbles. You're not even sure that the leech spelled the poor man's name right, but you suppose it's better than nothing. Next time I need a doctor's note, better forging the signature myself. I will take it. Alright, thank you. Are we bringing this man back to life? I suspect that's what we're doing. Alright, here we go. Death certificate. The humid swamp air has made the paper of the death certificate soft and damp. As you drop it in the bowl, it decomposes before your eyes until nothing's left. Okay. Dark Drake Fang. You drop the sharp reptilian fang into the stone basin with a heavy clunk. It spins like a top, emitting a high-pitched whine before shattering into fine white dust. The Western Obelisk. Yep. Necromantic Charm. Place the token of undeath into the into the basin. Glitters like a candle for a moment, before the shadowy umbra of the obelisk snuffs it out. And finally, the south. Apothecary heaters. You fill the bowl with an offering of anatomic liquids. Fluid slowly disappears as if being drained by some unseen thirst, until only the wet residue remains. With the final offering accepted, the obelisks surrounding the circle begin to hum. You can hear a strange melody playing through their discordant tones. The carvings on the ground burn with renewed energy, driving away the overgrowth. You're quick to step away as you feel the back of precocious force pull at the circle's center. I suppose that's done the trick. Let's see what the writing has to say for itself now. You rotate your head to read the glowing letters on the edge of the circle. Place the vessel of the deceased, yada yada, recite the purification of ectodermis, blah blah, apply the ointment. Right, seems straightforward enough. All we need to do is go fetch the body of that poor fool husband. He should be in the swamp somewhere. Okay. I probably don't have to walk around it, but I wanted to. Ugh, must be where that nurse has been dumping these surplus corpses. Need to take a closer look at each one to find the right fellow. Alright. Eternally destined to be mistaken for a bridge troll. Plant growth throughout has lifted this body almost standing, still dead though. Swamp thistle seems to be in the process of rolling this corpse over. Thistles have nourished by this body have grown strong again to raise it up once again. There's no rest to be had here. This corpse is joined now with the fate of the thistle that runs through it. Forgot corpse now anchored to the swamp by thistles. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to be looking at these bodies. This isn't it, unfortunate nonetheless. Similar, perhaps not the right thing. This is the right one. Not the husband, this one. I'm trying to pick up the frickin' stuff next to it. Thank you. Hang on. There we go. I'll pick it up after I do this. Not this one. Wait, didn't I look at them all? There's old as no description. Where on earth is that stinking body? I didn't think I'd be able to find him among the dead here. Watch a particularly bloated fly line on her hand poking out of the muck. Its disgusting proboscis probes at the withered flesh. Two globular red eyes slowly unglue themselves and swivel to boggle at the insect. A huge slime-covered tongue lashes out and pulls... Frog King! I didn't even read that. Pulls the hapless fly into a gaping, toothless maw along with most of the sunken corpse. Well, I suppose that explains where my misplaced man went. Okay, so now let me pick up things. Hello! Excuse me? Frog. Can it be? Has a lovely young morsel wandered its way into my palace? Can't read. Call this filthy bog a palace? He throws his head back, shaking the swamp with burbling laughter. Smaller frogs, and newts scurry out of the way to avoid being crushed by his enormous bulk. Ha ha ha. Wouldn't you? This place is a veritable bounty of insects, and my subjects have such a healthy appetite, so they will all grow big and strong. I'd eat you too, but that head of yours looks much too hard. For my food, to be nice and tender. Look, you wouldn't perchance have seen an old man pass through here, have you? About yay-high, full beard, deadish. Frog taps his fingers against a log, grinning an impossibly large grin. Oh yes, I do believe I've seen the chap. He had such a delectable aroma, and fall off the bone ribs. But I'm sorry to say that once something goes down the hatch, it never sees the light of day again. We'll see about that. I'm sure I can come up with something, some just desserts for you. Frog rolls his eyes around and as if daring you to try something. I don't have any on me right now. Yes, I do. Here you go, buddy. Here you go. Grab a juicy-looking grub around the medicinal tablets and offer it up to the Frog King. Your Majesty, I really must find the whereabouts of that gentleman. Perhaps the small tribute will persuade you to loosen your tongue. Frog gulps down the tantalizing meal without thought. Ah, delectable gift. Thank you, my pretty. Now, I already told you where his nostrils flare for a moment, then he sneezes, sending specks of wet mucus flying. The frog's throat suddenly expands, filling with gas. The belch that erupts from his lips resonates so loudly the entire swamp ceases its buzzing. You avert your eyes. The noise and smell of the frog's explosive eruption almost knocks you off your feet. Great Linda's ghost, what a stench. The frog wobbles on its legs, looking thoroughly emptied. It heaters before rolling his huge body back into the swamp with a thunderous splash. He spots the slippery body of the husband floating in the bog water. Luckily, he seems to be missing some bits and pieces, so he should fold up quite nicely. Oh boy, he's a transportable size. Alright. Alright, to the obelisks. Here we go. Circle of power is ready and waiting for the necromantic purposes. Here you go. With considerable effort, you unfold the husband's decaying body from your satchel and slap it down in the middle of the circle. Invisible shackles wrap around the corpse's limbs and pull it spread eagle against the ground. Strange mists rise from the obelisk, casting everything in its sickening green light. Slowly but surely, the corpse begins to levitate off the ground. It rotates to face each obelisk one by one. Oh, get on with it, I haven't got all day. Give the rotting head a good kick as it passes by you. With a gasp of stale air, the body drops to the ground. Suddenly it bolts upright. Gah! Hey, bud. Well, hello there. You caused me a lot of trouble. You know that? The reanimated corpse claws at his throat. Oh, sorry. Wait a moment. Near your feet, you see a disembodied tongue flopping on the ground like a worm. Scoop it up and quickly toss it into the man's gaping mouth. Ugh. Though he moves his jaw, his lurching voice seems to emanate from someplace beyond. Murderer! What? I am not. You were quite dead when I found you. No, Leech murdered me. He clutches at his hollow chest as if trying to feel his heart beating. Gave me plague, drained my blood. Leech murdered others. He swings a limp arm towards the body-filled bog. I knew there was some awful stink about the sick house. What sort of doctor infects her own patients? Check her office. Find proof. Don't you worry. I'll make sure that parasite gets what's coming to her. But you should head back home. Your wife's worried half to death about you. He turns and looks longingly over his shoulder. You can hear his vertebrae popping. Yes, I late. He shambles into the choking mist. He gives you a crooked nod of thanks. I don't know why I made his voice so weird sounding, but he talks like that, so. Don't mind me. Go into your office to look for your loot. While the leech is busy with her patients, you rifle through the contents of various cabinets in her office, mostly dried herbs, potions. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. That is until you notice a suspicious-looking bookcase set against the wall. The books are all fake, just chopped down spines glued to solid plank. Your fingers race across the medicinal titles. You quickly find a loose volume. With a click of a switch, the whole bookcase swings open to reveal a secret compartment. Your heart jumps at the sight. Racks upon racks of bottled blood are arranged like fine wines, each vessel miraculously catalogued, the name, description, and age of its source. Looks like that thirsty slug's been sapping the living for years. On a nearby table you spy a decanter half filled with ruby red liquid. You wonder whose blood it contains. A dash of salt would remind that slimy worm that there's worse things out there than bloodsuckers. I'm assuming I'm gonna need this. So let me make it. And if I don't need it, I can use it later. Okay. Salt the wine. There we go. Spritz! That was probably the wrong button. No, it wasn't. Okay. You sprinkle a generous amount of embalming salts collected from the graves of the leech's victims into the decanter. As the salt dissolves into the bloody cocktail, you hear the telltale squelch of the good doctor's approach. What are you doing? Can't you see this is my private office? I already helped you enough, so there's no reason you ought to be here. She hastily shuffles you out of the room. Now get out. This place is only for the sick. You're certainly right about that. You walk just out of sight before doubling back to hide behind a withered get-well bouquet. You peer at the vexed leech as she slithers around her office, checking every cabinet and locker for tampering. She mutters something expletive about nosy old woman. Satisfied, she sighs with relief and reaches to pour herself a glass from the tainted decanter. Ah, that addition of black fever adds a certain nutty quality. Maybe it will pair well with an infusion of peat moss palsy in the next batch. She takes a sip, waiting just a moment before throwing her head back and guzzling it all down. Lovely, sharp flavor, full body too. Suddenly, the leech snaps to attention. Her limbs dart out, writhing, I can't read. With uncontrollable gestures, she stabilizes herself against the table as sweat pools on her brow. The decanter shatters against the floor in an explosion of glass. What's happening? The leech spasms as the tendrils of ghostly spirits begin to suck the moisture from her body. You watch as she dwindles in size, shrinking like some horrible raisin. I got a raisin now. I'll take that, thank you. You inspect the mummified worm. I got the leech. Pressing it between your fingers lightly. Drained by the very spirit she was supposed to be healing. In your fingertips, you make out the faintest of heartbeats. The soul of the leech. Got it! Quest complete. Nice. Hey, what's up? I don't believe it. This was happening right under my nose the whole time. Yep. Alright. To the fields. How you two doing? Thank you, sister. He's good as new. Love, wife. Alright. Fields. He's right up there. Okay, cool. The vegetal farmer. You have a lot of changes in your farm, sir. Oh, that's why. A hefty gourd stands before you, wiping beads of dew off his bumpy forehead. He tilts up the brim of his hat and greets you with what you interpret as a smile. Welcome to my farm, stranger. What brings you out here? Why the... How's it growing, farmer? Oh, you know, not bad. Not so bad. Trying my best to win the harvest competitions this year. I don't know what accent I'm giving you. Or voice. Well, you'll be making good progress. I'm sure you'll be a shoo-in for the blue ribbon. You would think so, wouldn't you? But every year, without fail, that sour ox takes the prize. No matter how hard I work. I can't do this accent. No matter how hard I try. I can't seem to outgrow his crops. Careful now, you're beginning to sound like a sore loser. Ja. Not sore loser. Just think it's quite suspicious, don't you? Last year, the ox and his family grew the largest corn cobs I've ever seen. I was only barely able to get second place because of my own little helpers. He motions to an animated turnips and potatoes busy with menial farm work. But this year, his crops are larger than ever before, and so his family is nowhere to be seen. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's working the fields all by himself? What happened to his family? That's the fishy part. No one knows. They just disappeared one day, and the ox has said nothing. That sounds suspicious. Perhaps I'll go and ask him myself. Ja. His farm is down to the southwest. You can't miss it. Must get back to work. Veggies won't grow themselves, you know. I don't know what frickin' voice I'm trying to give him, but it's not working. Okay, where are we going? I wasn't paying attention to what I was trying to say, I was just saying it. No trespassing. Oh, so this is, I'm gonna have to get past the bandits now, right? Anyways, I'm gonna leave this episode here. Next we'll do the ox. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you'd like to subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.